Well, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back to A Course in Miracles. And thank you, as always, for following along here and for checking out this YouTube channel and for subscribing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of content clearly being generated here on this channel, and it stems from these lessons, from these videos to help explain and to demonstrate my own experience, the good, bad, and the ugly, of course, with the workbook for students of A Course in Miracles. So I highly, highly recommend that if this is something that interests you, that you go back, scroll through here and watch some of the introductory videos that I've shot describing the course in general, what it is, how it's impacted my life, which is tremendously, by the way, and some of the basic philosophy involved. This is a self-study curriculum, as you may know. It is a thought system unto itself that is designed to help you. Pretty much. This means that no matter what your religious or spiritual practice looks like, this can serve as a complement to that. It can deepen your understanding of your own path, if that's what you'd like it to do. And if you're looking for a complete path unto itself, this can serve as that as well. Now, this has been the foundational centerpiece of my own spiritual practice since 2013. And I've been through this workbook for students several times. And I can certainly attest to what you may be thinking, that the first time was a whole lot different than now. Things have most definitely changed, and this is inevitable. What we call personal growth is inevitable when you make a commitment, when you make a decision in the present moment to choose your higher self, to choose love, to choose God. In other words, to reach for a better feeling in the present moment. This is the work that we have to do every moment of every day. Each time you do that, you create a completely new world, really. A completely different set of possibilities. It's beautiful. And along with that, the workbook is simply one tool that you can use. So, as always, if you're just popping in and watching this video, I invite you to watch the whole thing and ask yourself, I mean, really deeply, truly ask yourself, okay, does this resonate with me? And feel the resonance or lack thereof. Because if you don't feel it, that's equally as valid as feeling it, isn't it? I mean, it's a bit like business. Either you're doing business with somebody or you're not. Yeah. And the quicker you decide yes or no, right, the quicker you can move on to the next possible item that is going to speak to you. And I say that because we have the entire gamut, the whole global panoply of spiritual traditions available to us right now in the 21st century at the click of a button. You know, now you may be thinking, okay, well, there are people out there that try this, try that. They do this for a week, they do this for another 2 weeks, and they're on to the next best retreat, then they're on to the next best manifestation exercise, then a yoga retreat, and they flit around. And yes, that exists, and the possibility for that exists too. So if you're doing that, ask yourself, are you really committed to any one of these practices? What I invite you to do is find one that you connect with, find one that speaks to you, and go deep with it. If A Course in Miracles is that, beautiful, so be it. But you will not have very much success if you do this for 10 days and then abandon it. It will just be another thing that you hang on yourself like a yoke, like a burden, a heavy wooden burden, yeah, of something that you tried and didn't do. People tell me all the time, oh, yeah, I tried to get through the work. I tried. So I invite you to think about this yourself. I don't know, right? I don't know. This is you. This is your spirituality that we're talking about. It's your happiness. Yes, it's your personal growth, so to speak. It's your spiritual development, so to speak. Put those in quotes because we're perfect as we are. We don't need growth or development. What we call growth or development is the process that we're going through here in the workbook for students, removing the barriers to our awareness of love's presence. In other words, lifting the veil. What is us? God, same as, one with, has always been. And we're simply, if you prefer to think of it this way, cleaning a mirror. Yeah. We're removing the specks of dust and these streaks, yeah, and the smudges from this mirror. That's a way that you might choose to look at it. So pick a spiritual practice and stick with it. When you find one, you'll know in your heart, in your gut, that it speaks to you and rings true. I'll tell you, this course is not for everybody. We're talking about lesson 205. So if you, in fact, have followed every single one of these videos, I thank you for that. That's a pretty good indication that it is for you, right? And if you're just dropping in, then A Course in Miracles is really interesting. It contains the word miracle. Therefore, it attracts a lot of attention. Here's what happens, and I want all of you to be honest with yourselves. People drop this like flies. They drop it like a hot potato. They do it for a couple weeks, 3 weeks, drop it. It does require a commitment. Guess what? A Course in Miracles is not alone in that respect. All spiritual paths require a commitment. All of them. You cannot expect to go deep by playing at shallow and surface level. And I mean, other people might know that you're playing at surface level safe, ego safe, same, so to speak. Yeah, other people might know that, but only you can really truly know that. I don't know if you're really doing that or not, but I am compelled to talk about this today. I feel driven and drawn and compelled to have this conversation because it's always good on the path to invite an honest check-in with yourself, an open and honest check-in with yourself. This ties right into today's idea, which is the review idea of lesson 185. I want the peace of God. Right, so this is lesson 205 here that we're talking about today in the workbook, and this is part of an extensive review period where we start the review practice with the central idea: I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. So the peace of God is something that human beings may think they know, but they don't. In the world, everyone attempts to figure things out for themselves. There are cultures in the world, not just the United States, but many cultures throughout the world that value the notion of rugged individuality, the tough cowboy like Wyatt Earp or John Wayne. This is a cultural hero that bulldozes his or her way through the world, taking what he or she wants. And if someone's opposed, well, fuck them. Yeah. This is a cultural badge of honor. So think about that for a minute. In an attempt to plow through the world, you might think that you know what the peace of God is. You do not. You do not. And a simple acknowledgement that you do not opens the door to peace. Now, you're instructed here in the workbook for students in A Course in Miracles to want the peace of God above all else. The idea is quite simple. I want the peace of God. This is something that you state and restate until it consumes you. Consumes in a good way. I don't mean in hot, fiery flames and ash. I mean it permeates every cell of your being. Every subatomic particle goes beyond particles to become your experience of the peace of God, which is what every single person on this planet needs to eventually want above all else. When you want nothing else, you will acknowledge that you don't know what this is and ask for help. This is the little willingness that we talk about here in A Course in Miracles, the little willingness that's required of you. And it is, in fact, the only thing that's required of you to simply open up a gap, however small, however short-lived, for the voice for God, the Holy Spirit, the universal inspiration calls, which will, to run through, rush into, and provide for you the moment-to-moment answers. This is a profound idea. Practice it. I want the peace of God. What is implied, of course, is the same thing that is implied when we say God is. It's what we don't say that is equally important. Nothing else is. When you say, when you sit with the idea, when you contemplate the idea, I want the peace of God, implicit in this is, and nothing else. Truly, at the deepest level, this is what every single living thing will wind up wanting above all else. This is everything. It is quite all right going through the world to have certain things like clothing, yes, like shelter, perhaps an automobile, money to pay bills, It's okay to have these things. And in fact, it's okay to want or even desire these things. But what we're looking at here in this course is ultimate truth. We're looking at the way out of suffering, which is to want the peace of God. What you will find in your experience is when you take this to heart, all of those other things will still be present in your life. What happens to you when you sit with the idea that you want the peace of God and nothing else is you will experience the peace of God and take that out into the world. You will radiate it. Guess what? Others will respond to your radiation. They will see in your clean mirror the reflection of themselves as they are, as love, as peace, as one with God. What does this require? It requires us to get out of our own way, yes. It requires your saying, I don't know the answer here. Please help me. This is a profound, profound lesson in simply saying, I don't know. You'll recall that the workbook starts out with having us look around a room, with looking at things outside the window, a park, perhaps, a tree, the other side of the street, and reciting, I do not know what any of this means. The ego will resist, completely resist the declaration that I don't know what to do here. Please help. The ego has all of the answers, so it imagines. In fact, it has none of the answers. How does it have none of the answers? It is not real. Practicing this idea is another way to bring your illusions to the truth. To bring everything dark to the light. This is the challenge as you see it in the world, to leave no stone unturned, so to speak. Yes. To bring everything, absolutely everything, to make a complete inventory, a complete, exhaustive inventory of your own mind, and anything that is not loving, anything that is not peaceful, bring it to the light. The light will shine it away, all of it. So I often laugh here because it's funny, and as I've said on a couple of these videos, not funny. At the same time, it's hashtag funny, not funny. The way that we get in our own way as human beings, and thinking that we know all the answers is a big one, isn't it? I mean, how many times have you gone through life thinking that you knew everything? You knew all of the answers, everything that you haven't made, you got this. Yeah, I got this. No, man, I got this. I got this. I don't need any help. I'm good, right? How many times have you said that to yourself? How many times have you said that to someone else? I mean, for all of us, no matter where we find ourselves in life, that list is going to have to be pretty long, isn't it? We're encouraged to do that. And what the Course encourages us to do is to really take full responsibility for ourselves and say, I don't know. There's power in saying, I don't know. I don't know what the peace of God is, but I want that. Show me. I want the peace of God above all else. I want the peace of God, and recite again and again, I want the peace of God. All right, very good. I hope you're enjoying these messages. The pattern that this has taken on is very, very interesting. And it's been a bit spontaneous since I began to pre-record them. There is some commentary that's from what you all call me. And then there's a channeled message from the Holy Spirit. That's the usual middle of these videos, typically. Sometimes it goes in and out, and I never know what's going to happen when I turn on the camera, which is one of the beauties of this. It's really, truly a beautiful thing, and it's fun, and it's energizing to not know what's going to happen when you turn the camera and microphone on. So there is often a channeled message in the middle, and then at the end, as I'm doing right now, I'm offering some of my own commentary from my own experience. This is a lesson that's very simple. It's very profound. Spirituality is simple. It should be simple because we've complicated things so much in the world and placed a cultural value on complicating, not just here in the United States. Guys, I mean, I know many of you are watching from other parts of the world, and I'm from the United States, so this is certainly a cultural value. Here, it's a cultural value to complicate your life and be so busy. And that's spread all over the globe. And, you can make a historical argument, and the British people out there, where the Industrial Revolution began. Yeah, right. It's not about identifying which major colonial society started all of this. It's really not about that. It's about the present moment. And here we are. Yeah, here we are. This is the situation in which we find ourselves. What do we do right now? So I invite you to take that to heart and choose love right now. One way you can do that is to make the decision to practice today's idea, to practice it. Even if it's simply to recite it silently to yourself for a few seconds. I want the peace of God. I want the peace of God. Make it a mantra if you prefer. These workbook ideas are short, and in fact, they're beautiful mantras in and of themselves. Meaning beyond meaning. I want the peace of God. All right, and I know that you do, because deep down, we all do. So as always, I invite your comments and questions here on YouTube. Feel welcome to reach out to me also on Facebook Messenger. It's Tomas Garza, and that's my name that appears here as you're looking at this live in the bottom left corner of your screen. You can find me there. I'm here to help, and I will see you again very soon.